evening, my friends, and welcome to the next episode of URU, Complete Chronicles, Path of the Shell. Last time out, well, we got to the end of the Diglett factory and we were baking some bread. Now the bread, we haven't really worked out what to do with the bread, and we'll go back to that factory at some point, but we are in our new Cadish age, and he does have a very particular art style, doesn't he? I think we're going to start by taking some pictures of these stained glass windows, because these are probably going to be required at some point. And then we'll go back to exploring Crab Island. In the chat on the YouTube, we have James Moores and we have Dre Strahan. And on the Twitch chat, we have a huge number of people to say hello to. This evening, I'm being powered by T, making sure that, all of my English ancestors are, suitably well represented. And we're going to be trying out Anone. So, let's start taking some pictures. We have a couple of first-time chatters. We have Horatio for Uru, greetings to you. And we have Lazy Kates. Hey, how goes the puzzling? It's going okay. We have only just started, though. So, I think probably, in the interests of time, let's try and get 3 in screen on one go. So, boop, boop. Get those 3. And what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and do a bit of a rem here. We're going to try and, represent via corridoring what ends up opposite what. And that'll be the fastest way, probably, to get it in there. Oh man, I remember that one. Remember that one. This made the tea unsuitable for drinking, even for Americans. Ah yes, we are close to the start of July. Oh dear. Do you know what though? I do have a couple of American friends. 4th of July barbecues. Oh, just mega. They're just mega. Now, I mean, as an English person, right? Okay, so what we're going to do, right, we're going to spin this upside down, okay? So that what we are representing here is we're representing a path through a corridor, okay? So these two are opposite each other. All right, so we're gonna remember that. We're gonna remember that. Yeah, I mean, barbecuing just isn't really a big thing in English culture. Like, we do it, but we'll grab the barbecue out once or twice a season. It really is not a big thing in the UK, to be honest. Oh, you'll have noticed another quality of life change that we've made. Thank you very much for the feedback on the chat and in the channel. The chat, both on this screen and over here. I have made the chat white and not transparent. Well, it's not white, it's actually an off-white, because white is actually not very great to look at for a long period of time, on a screen at least anyway. Oh, hey! We didn't spot that last time. And I've tried to make the text a little bit bigger. So let me know how that is for you. Hopefully, it's a little bit nicer to read if you're watching this on YouTube. Okay, now this one goes here, and we will spin it upside down that way. Now what I kind of need to do is I kind of need to give it like a... this way up, right? The logic of how I'm arranging this will make perfect sense to everyone who is literally me, as long as we don't forget about what we've done. Right. I just kind of want to visually represent the space. And what we'll do is we'll have a look in a minute, because you can't look at all of these at the same time unless you lay them out flat. So that's the idea. Over here, New Year's is probably the closest we get to America's 4th of July, but we get 2 holiday days of recovery afterwards. 50% of the time you choose to barbecue, it will rain. Trank grills more like 2 to 3 times a week. Oh, the text is now readable on mobile. That would be a big improvement. Thanks for giving the chat tweaks a go. No problem at all. Yeah. But let me know, everyone, how readable that now is. Okay. So, looking at this. What have we got? We've got purple up here. So we've got blue, we've got green, we've got a bit of purple up here. Right, fine. This one... ah, they are different. They are different. Yes, yes, they are different. You got green over here at around about the 4 o'clock position. Here you've got green around about the 8 o'clock position. Now those two are the same. But this one, it has been... do you know what? It's not even been rotated. It's been flipped. It's been flipped. Is that important? Who knows? But there is a mirror line here. Okay. Kadish would be proud. Do you know what? All I've ever wanted in life is for Kadish to put his hand on my shoulder and go, I'm proud of you, son. Too real. Right. So, 8 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Yeah, the green's at the 8 o'clock and the green's at the 4 o'clock. So, yeah, on one side of the room it's always one side, and on the other side of the room it's on the other side, and the weird clock face is always opposite a symbol. Just finished your tea. Hope your ancestors are proud. They are. James says, if retail taught me anything, barbecue season is always just after managers... it's always just after managers to cut back hours for no good reason. Aww. So, now we took a picture of that clock last time as well, didn't we? This thing. Oh, do you know what? I've just spotted. It's got numbers round it. That definitely has numbers, doesn't it? I didn't even see that in the actual game window itself. Yeah, I'm going to point something out, which is kind of a little bit, a little bit of an interesting one. The numbers that are lit up are not the same as when we took this picture last week. Which kind of makes me wonder whether this is one of those weird, you know, things are going to change in real time kind of ages. I don't know. I know I've left you guys on the small panel, but I just kind of want to get round to this side. Yeah, it's definitely different, isn't it? Can someone remind me? Is there a button to zoom in? Is there a zoom? If not, it's not necessarily a problem. Brant Gerger says, I do not remember a zoom. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. Okay. I think I see enough here to see that that's an X. Right, which would be 25. Wow, this is about as small as I can make it, actually. Yeah, that certainly looks like an X, doesn't it? Does that look like a vertical line to you? Is that a 1? Let's have a little count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, okay. So that's number 1 to 25, counting round the edge. You need to play at 4:38 AM and need to speed run through around about 57 seconds long series of tasks to proceed. Big creativity points for using supplemental software to nail down information that I certainly never saw. Yeah, zoom and enhance! Zoom and enhance! Ah, good evening, Spiper. Oh, hello, Jaffras. I haven't said hello to you yet either. So let's have a little look then. So 25 isn't lit up in either of these. I have a feeling this might literally just be a clock, which is just telling us the time. Perhaps. Is it just a real life clock telling the real life time? Let's see. So what numbers does this come out with? So we've got a 1 and a 2. What's not lit, right? And then we can kind of work out what it is lit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, I think I miscounted that already. Yeah, no, I think that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. In multiplayer URU, which I never played, there is gameplay pegged to the actual clock. Thus, for example, if the next big thing you need to do is in 17 hours and that's the middle of the night for you, you have to get up to do it. Oof. No. Nah, just no. So if I were to add this up, hang on, wait. If I were to add that up, it would get me a number, like a single number, which is sort of in the 50s, in the 40s or the 50s. But what would that actually do? Like probably a whole lot of nothing. Thankfully, that time lock is not based on a 24-hour cycle. Okay. So. Oh, I think I stepped on a crab. It kind of gave me sort of some weird momentum there for a second. If... Okay, I'm thinking. So part of me is thinking, check for caves around the bay, right? Because you might have these weird inlets here, which might have something in them. So check for caves around the bay. We've also... Like, that over there looks like a real island. It doesn't look like part of the skybox. So if we go and try and find the point at which the water is not going that way or going that way, can we swim outwards? And that might be like straight on from here, possibly. Because like that water's going that way, that water's going that way. We are, from here, we are pretty much bang on, totally opposite the waterfall, right? The water around here comes this way around, the water around there comes that way around. So maybe we can just try and swim outwards. And where we're going for is there. And we're going to try and avoid getting swept away. It doesn't feel like I'm making much progress. Oh man, I'm just getting... Oh, no. I've been actually swept quite far to the right. No, I'm not making much progress in that direction at all. Fine. The current is too strong. Ooh, hang on a second. I can get out just here. Okay. Well, the only one that we have managed to swim to is this one over here. But there seems very little to do there. Oh look, I've got damp footprints. The attention to detail. Okay, so this time we swim this way. I'm going to try and make it to... Try and make it over to here. Oh, I don't think we're going to make it. I think we're too far off. Oh! That's rough, that is. That's rough. Okay, let's go. So after we go down into the waterfall, right, we're gonna have a look. We're gonna have a closer look around this little cove. On the other hand, we can kind of... Can we get onto this rock? No. Kind of looks like we're a slave to the currents. It does, doesn't it? This reminds me a lot of... Now, we were talking Final Fantasy last week, weren't we? Do you remember that section in Final Fantasy VIII where it's like, oh yes, their ship really loves the, you know, the rocky outcrops of the Cetra continent, and then you have to spend like 1,000,000 years driving your ship in and out of little alcoves looking for the tiny ship. Good times. Oh, man. I mean, I know you guys said, like, half the challenge of this one is working out even how to get started. And so far, I am inclined to agree. Oh, do you know what? This is the same trick that Oblivion did. As you rotate the camera, the sprites on the tree, they kind of rotate with you because they're actually just static images attached to the camera, which I think is kind of cool. But yeah, like in Oblivion, in original recipe Oblivion, you'll notice that the trees, when you look at them, as you walk round a tree, the tree always just turns to face you. Which is really weird once you spot it, but the effect is quite convincing. It's quite convincing until you notice it. Man. Oh, the Moiety heads in the Riven remake, they follow you around as well, do they? That's interesting. Goodbye, crab. I'm kind of looking at the trees. Does the placement of trees give you anything? Like, is this atoll? I guess it's kind of an atoll, right? Or the bay. Is the bay itself supposed to be reminiscent of the clock? You know? And is the placement of trees important? Man, Kadish, your puzzles, they're just too oblique. Let's get over to the little island again. Dark Fae has a hint, which is based on something I've noticed. If I want it. Okay. Vote now in the chat. Should I take a hint? Depends on the hint. Yeah, well, unfortunately, I don't think... Well, I tell you what, right? Star Shadow says no hints ever. Triz says I'd say not yet. Okay. So that hole is not anything. This we already took a screenshot of last week. That's this. But these are not buttons or anything. It's literally just a drawing on the wall. It's not interactable. Jay Strahan says no hint yet. Okay. Oh! Ah, hang on. There's a door right here. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay. We found a door. We need to get the door open. It's not by jamming your hand into the hole. There is a hint, but it's very obscure. What function of the difficulty of a puzzle should the time before a hint be? 7. I like Trit's style. It's like, what's the function? Like a 2x minus y to the power. No, 7. Constant value. The answer's just a constant. I think what we should have, for those of you who are on the Discord, right, you can go and set up a post-video discussion channel in the forum called Secret Stream Discussion or something. And you guys can talk openly there, because I can't check Discord whilst I'm streaming. So... But yeah, I don't think there's a way, for obvious reasons, I don't think there's a way to chat on Twitch without the streamer seeing it. Am I planning on playing Zork? I don't recall that one. I don't currently have any plans to play that, let's say. Oh, we have another one of these. That would be an easily missable one. Wait, where did I put the other one that we found earlier? Yes. Here we go. 372. Yeah, okay, a little stuck maybe. Oh, no! And we're gone. Okay, but we have a plan. Do you know what? The yellow lights on the side of these on the side of this building are different on different sides of the building. On that side, we've got 3 lights. On that side, we've got 3 lights. On the other sides, I think we have a different pattern. I might have looked it up but just forgotten about it. I can't recall. This particular puzzle is extremely URU. You would never find this in any other Myst game. Did Path of the Shell multiplayer even exist before they closed down the initial live run? Oh. This age really is a nice place. Maybe not to live, but to visit. Yeah, okay. This puzzle is extremely URU. URU? Oh, and we've got none on that side. Oh, or do we? We might have a couple, actually. Jump! Jump! We do. It's kind of in the same arrangement as on the far side. Oh, we're actually going to have a real hard time getting a picture of that from that side, because we are sort of... Yeah, I mean, it can't be a coincidence that you can only just make it to here. Taylor darn jump. No. Come on, physics engine. Kind of got to start just smacking myself against anything that looks like an interactable surface. But that's not going to be it. At least not here. Ah, man. This is quite a tricky one. And you know what? I was kind of hoping. Incidentally, I'm just going to take a copy of this one and put it over here, because I think it's the same way round. I was kind of hoping taking pictures of these would sort of help, but... See, I don't think it's anything to do with these words. Right, the gathered will rest when the light comes, the path of the stone is toil for the gathered. Like, I think this is more related to the puzzle in the main hub, not the puzzle on Arnone specifically. Hey, we have TLN in the chat. How you doing? Great to see you. Extremely Uru immediately makes us resort to blunt force. Yes, extremely Uru. You would not see a puzzle like this in any other Myst game. Makes me feel like whatever it is dumb. You know? Like, does it involve platforming? Does it involve the fact that you are a physics object in the game engine? Like, does it involve picking up an item and bringing it here? Like, picking up a crab and getting the crab to use its little pincers to cut the ropes. What other game can you swim in? That's true. Well, Ocarina of Time, currently. Oh dear, I tell you what though, I just recorded the next week's episode of Master Quest, and the Master Quest solution for one of the first areas you have in the Spirit Temple is just so bad. It's so bad. The Master Quest puzzles really are 50% of the time they're just like that. 50% of the time they're really good puzzles, kind of using the Ocarina of Time mechanics, but like 50% of the time they're just like, there's this weird bug with the game that we never fixed, so we're going to make one of the puzzles the fact that the player has to not only be aware of this bug but exploit the bug to do the puzzle. So to make progress in Master Quest in the Spirit Temple, you have to know that. So you know, Ocarina of Time, it's got inside the temple various infinite drops, right? You know, if Link drops down them, he goes and then you respawn at the entrance of the room. You kind of have to know that in the game engine, those do in fact have a bottom to them, and you can use a bomb chew to literally just go down the infinite hole and come up the other side. And it's like, unless you know that that's like a thing you can do in that engine, you'd have no chance of working it out. Do we have any lights on the rear side? Oh! Oh, we do. It looks like the same configuration as the front side, right? 1, 2, 3, 4? Would you guys say? Yeah. Kind of looks like the same as the front side. There's a weird shadow on the wall there. Okay, I'm going to ask for a specific hint. You guys can just tell me yes or no, right? Am I simply looking for a hidden switch that opens that door? Is it literally like there is a button somewhere and you need to have hit the button? No. Okay, fine. Is the solution to keep linking away till all the water gets brought with us? The problem is it's water all the way down. This age doesn't even have a solid surface. It's like that, yeah, it's like we've got a water world situation here. Can I grab a crab? Can I grab a crab? No. I'm pretty sure I can't. And I'm pretty sure once the crabs are in the water, they just kind of keep falling to infinity. What? Where is this now? Where is this now taking me? It's kind of swirling me around this way. And we can't interact with the giant orb. Well, as far as I can tell, anyway. Unless there's like a... Here, you should just not do anything. See where the current takes you. Aspect to this puzzle. But that doesn't really seem to be doing anything. Grab a crab! All water roads lead to weird clock. Yes, quite right, quite right. You wonder if Atris ever solved these places. It's a good question. Are any of these interactable? The picture on this book, it just doesn't really look like where we go either. We're going to have been here for so long that the time on the clock is probably going to be like wildly different. I mean, unless it is something... Yeah, it certainly moved. The fact that there's a clock counting round does make me a little bit nervous that there is some kind of time aspect to the puzzle. That, like, we are supposed to be doing something at a particular time, or we're supposed to be waiting for a particular length of time. But, like, I'm kind of running on the assumption that it's not going to be as obtuse as go and stand by the door until 25 minutes have passed and then the door will open on its own, you know? Because, like, I think even the weird puzzles of URU would not be able to stand a puzzle that was literally just stand here for 25 minutes and then the door opens. You know? We aren't playing Blueprints. No, we're not playing Blueprints. That's more like a Morrowind puzzle. Yeah, I never played Morrowind. I think I said last week that I just started playing in my off time Divinity Original Sin 2 with a couple of friends. It has kind of made me really interested to check out Baldur's Gate 3. I might check out some Let's Play videos for Baldur's Gate 3. Because the friends I'm playing Divinity with, like, my one big criticism of Divinity Original Sin 2 is that the conversation system is a little bit weak. Because if you are playing with sort of several friends, your ability to listen into a conversation is kind of a little bit hamstrung slightly because you can't really see what dialogue choices other people are picking and things like that. Whereas apparently the system is just a whole lot smoother in Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm kind of interested to see how. We've got a first-time chatter, PWJB. How are we doing in Kadish's magnum opus so far? Oh, it makes me feel really sad. It makes me feel really inadequate as a puzzle solver. Like, you know, Kadish would turn to me and go, TDF, you were always my biggest disappointment. And I'd be like, oh no, Kadish, why you say this to me? We hardly even know each other. How can I disappoint you that much? There is the cook time on the pallets in Urkana. Oh yeah, no, that's true. That's true. You always have the Bob Ogobo moment. Spider, he just says that to everyone he doesn't know. You're a disappointment to me. Oh dear. Yeah, no, like stuck. Like kind of, yeah, you failed me for the last time. Oh, okay. Right. Speaking of Darth Vader quotes, I saw a TikTok the other day about, you know, it's one of these ones which is changes to the sequel trilogy, prequel trilogy, no, original trilogy. Changes to the original trilogy. Although, having said that, you know, Disney are very, very big on also making changes to the sequel trilogy. No, the prequel trilogy. Those don't get nearly as much heat for them because they're not considered like, you know, but ignoring all of like the music changes and stuff. So I actually am enough of a nerd. Do you know what? I don't have it to hand. It's in the bottom of this box somewhere. But I actually went and bought specifically the 2007 DVD releases of the original trilogy, because I grew up. Now, I'm not, you'll be surprised to know, I'm not old enough to have seen Star Wars in the cinema when it came out. Shocking, I know, right. I hope you're sitting down. However, I did grow up with Star Wars on VHS, right? And we used to watch all of those VHSs all the time, okay? So things like the final song in Return of the Jedi being, I think it's called Nub Nub, and the Jabba's Palace song in Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi was by far my favourite one, incidentally, right? In fact, do you know what? On my other channel, I did a video about lightsaber ignition sounds in the original trilogy. So, yeah, go and check that out, right? Because that's, yeah. I'm sure someone will link it in the chat or something. But, yeah, like, I did a video about lightsaber ignition sounds because it's just, you know, I just really love the sound of Luke's green lightsaber igniting in Return of the Jedi, because they sampled a totally different sound for it than any other lightsaber, and it sounds by far the best, in my opinion. But I grew up with original recipe Star Wars. So when I became an adult and started having adult money, obviously I don't have those VHSs anymore, so I actually went and tracked down the 2007 DVD releases of the original trilogy, because they had 2 discs in them. The first disc is, you know, the whatever special edition version that was being released at the flavour of the time, right? Because, like, literally every time those movies have ever been released, it's always a different cut to the previous time. You know, it's like, you got, like, the CGI Jabba that looks really dodgy, and then you've got a slightly better CGI Jabba the Hutt in, like, a later version of it. But they're kind of a little bit rough because they're like from the 1993 Laserdisc version, right? Anyway, all of that to sort of say that I'm very, very familiar with all of the changes, with most of the changes between the original trilogy and then the special edition versions. Okay. Setting aside all of the music changes, because I think the music changes are by far the most noticeable, and certainly the music changes are the ones that kind of definitely grate on me the most. Setting aside the music changes, by far the change that they made to the original trilogy that I dislike the most is they changed one of Darth Vader's lines in The Empire Strikes Back. Now, in the special edition version, they decided that in The Empire Strikes Back, in Cloud City, Darth Vader is on Cloud City, and then in a subsequent scene, he's back on the Executor, and it's like, oh no, like, how did he get from one location to the other, or whatever, okay? And so they changed his line to try and, like, add some continuity there. Now, this is just after he's fought Luke, told Luke that he is his father, tried to bring Luke over to his side so that he can have a go at the Emperor, finally, right? And then Luke says no and throws himself off a bridge rather than come with him. And the first line we hear Darth Vader say after that happens is, "Contact my Star Destroyer to prepare for my arrival." Right? See, Everett is already tells me in the chat. Right, in the original trilogy, the line is simply he's walking, and then he just says, "Bring my shuttle," and that's it. And it's like the angriest you've seen Darth Vader in the whole trilogy up to that point, because it's like he isn't even angry with anyone in particular. He's just fully angry at everything right now. Just bring my shuttle. So good. And I hate that they changed that line. I really do. Thank you for indulging me for the last 5 minutes of just going on a wild rant about something that is ultimately not terribly important. And as far as, like, I don't know, I also do think, particularly when it comes to Star Wars, people do take Star Wars particularly far too personally. Oh dear. Okay. We do love a good Star War, though, don't we? We do love a good Star War. I'm not 100% sure what we should do, guys. In my hometown of Shrewsbury, the cinema where Star Wars was shown was above where a Pizza Express now is, and all the old seats are still there in the restaurant's attic. That's cool. Nice. Your original trilogy VHSs started with a trailer for each of the original trilogy VHSs, which was fun, although odd marketing. Oh, the Stargate sounds different in the movie and the series. I don't remember that. Admittedly, it has been a hot minute since I watched the Stargate movie. For sure. Yeah, bring my shuttle seems sufficient. Where else would he be flying to? Yeah, that's quite right. Okay. Is the clock a clock? I mean, that's a really good question, to be honest. Like, how could you say something so astute yet so brave? Wait a minute, hang on. Now I'm kind of... No, it's not turning gradually. I'm pretty sure it's not turning, because that's sort of the same perspective as before. We've been here for a long while, though, and the numbers have not changed from when we first linked in. Yeah, hang on. Why is a raven like a writing desk? Well, that's a famous one, but I do not remember the answer to it. Another Stargate movie versus series. In the movie, the chevrons locked to their own symbols aligned to them, while in the series, the symbols were always dialed by the top chevron. I mean, to be fair, in the series, they only had one set of stock footage for the dialing, so actually every planet has the same address. So, like... I mean, TV budget, right? No, do you know what? It's not quite. Why do we always end up on Abydos? Yeah. Okay. I'm kind of working on a new theory. That does not look like it has changed significantly from when we first dialed in. Dialed in. What am I talking about? Linked in. They only ever had two gates, one for the SGC and the other one for location. Nice. Some stuff, TLN says, some stuff that's happening for you or not happening here isn't as I remember. There's a B in both and an N in neither. I mean, I still maintain that Stargate was one of the best series in terms of having like a legitimate continuity running throughout the whole thing. Not in terms of having like a single story that just like kept going forever or whatever. But in terms of having like changes which would affect the world in a consistent way. Yeah, so this has changed and we just linked out and linked back in. I don't think it can be counting the number of links. I don't think it can be counting the number of links because people aren't linking in and out constantly. It's just me. Right, the best picture of this thing can be got from around this side. Okay. So here we go. So we've got 2 of them to compare side by side. Now to get a really good comparative analysis, we'll get a 3rd one. And then we'll see how it's kind of tracking. When you first linked in, was there a weirdly inspirational yet kind of dystopian quote about the grind set written somewhere? That's great. That's brilliant. The grind set. I wake up at 4 AM every day and I eat some... and I eat 12 dozen eggs. And if you're not... yeah. Oh dear. Gotta hustle. Gotta hustle every day, guys. If you're not hustling, you're not going to be a millionaire by the time you're 19. Not that I'm saying that, like, hard work is not a good thing. Well, let me rephrase that. You have to work hard. For sure. No one's denying that. But man, grind set culture. Okay. You gotta think more like an URU developer. Back at the linking book. Sounds like an age written by Gaston. What do I see? Back at the linking book. What do I see back at the linking book? I don't know. I don't know. Let's have a look at these. It's interesting. So these are quite different. Hang on. Trying to see if there's... What have I got here? 1, 2, 3. So it's 4, 7 round to 10. There's 11. 12, 14. 16 to 18. 20. 22. 3, 4, 5. Now here, we've got 1, 4, the thing is though, I'm really skeptical on whether this can really be part of the puzzle, because like, in the game, you can barely see this. We're having to zoom right in. So that's 13 at the top. 16, 17. 9, 20, 21, 22, 24. Huh. Now, they're not going to add up to the same number. If it's not a clock, what might it be showing? If it's not a clock, what might it be showing? I mean, it changes when we link in or link out. So my best guess would be that it's showing the number of attempts people have made by linking in. But the number's not incrementing by 1. The numbers don't matter. Without zoom, you can't see them much anyway. I mean, from the linking book pedestal, we get the most straight-on view of the face of it. Kadish did die during the fall. We see his skeleton in his vault, and he has a big thing about the fact that he won because he died rich. And that's kind of what he wants to be remembered for. Could it be the... Could it be the strength of the current? I would... Could be the strength of the current? In which case, if all of this is off, assuming that the bottom would be the waterfall, has anyone here solved this age in single player without any hints? I imagine most people on this chat probably played multiplayer first. There must have been someone. Okay, so... Oh, wait a minute. Did that just change? That's changed. Because, yeah, all of these around here were off before, and now we've got one on. Okay. So it's tracking where we are. Fine. But... okay, what does that give us? What does that give us? So if I walk this way around... so it doesn't do anything if it's already lit. Oh, I can just about sidestep. Oh, the sidestepping is really weird though, because you are literally sidestepping. Hang on, wait. I think that just lit that one up. Yeah, okay. So, if where you are is already lit, it's not going to do anything. If it's not lit, it will light up. Okay. Now, the arrow is pointing directly to the top. Why is it already lit? Oh! Is it the crabs? Hang on. If I kick these crabs off... get out of here, crabs! Shoo! Shoo! Hang on, hang on, hang on. Ah! So maybe we just clear out all the crabs. All the crabs. Get out of here, crabs. Yep, go on then. So, is it a crab tracker? I guess. But... it can't be a bad thing to get rid of all these crabs. Surely. Like... as I have often said before, to much regret later... this can't be a bad thing to do. It takes too much effort. Okay. There we go. And then kick you in here. Yeah, so the fact that this was effectively moving to a random set of locations because the crab locations were randomizing when we were linking in. Which sort of makes sense. Jay Strahan just trying to bring the tone down. As if another crab's treasure wasn't enough to sate your bloodlust. Well, I mean, you know, crabs. Oh. See, I thought you guys were joking around, but yeah, okay. The official name for this species of crab is a quab. Like, why? Okay, there's like a crab somewhere around here. Where have you gone, crab? Huh. Squee is a character in Magic the Gathering. He's a Squee's a really weird character. He's like cursed with immortality. He's a goblin, and he's basically got like no skills at all. But he gets cursed with immortality, and so he kind of gets, yeah, exploited a little bit in that regard. Okay, I'm going to link out and link back in, because there's a random crab up here which we've not managed to get. Or is there? Because if we link back in, we'll reset the position of the crabs. If we get rid of all the crabs again, and there's still a thing being tracked there, then it's not a mistake. What do you mean he's got no skills? He's immortal. Being immortal is, I guess, kind of implicitly a skill. Yeah. Oh. That's weird. Has it kind of remembered that I got rid of all the crabs? You think there might be a quab in the Tower Island? Oh! Oh, is he over there, do you reckon? Yeah, maybe. You reckon there's a crab over there? Yeah, actually, sorry, yeah, Star Shadow, you're right. It did change its location. Let's quickly double check. Okay, door still closed. Well, I don't hear a crab scuttling around. Hang on, wait. Is the sun setting? Or was it always kind of sunset? It might literally just be that it's getting late here. Oh dear. It just randomizes the non-scared off ones. We are beginning to scratch the surface here. Yes. Yes. 1.5 hours into the stream. This is the high-octane puzzle-solving action that I have become moderately well known for in some parts of the internet. Off you go. Shoo. Good. Now. So, what do we do with this? Yes. Okay. So now if we go into the water. So now it's got nothing, right? Not tracking anything anymore. I think it's probably worth going and have a look to see if removing that from the tracker has opened the door just on its own. Although the dial points like directly upwards, right? So that's where we are now. Immortality is a passive skill. And now, what happens when no one is around? No! Was it necessary for that island to be so hard to get to? So yeah, so what happens now once no one's around? You guess the tree doesn't make a noise. You guess the tree doesn't make a noise. I'll find out why. What? Oh yes, I started a new game the other day actually. I totally forgot to tell you guys. So, Firmament is coming to an end next week. And what an ending it has. So final episode of Firmament will be up next week on Thursday. And that means I have made a start on what the next game I'm going to play in that slot is. I feel like it's still too early for Rem 3. I don't feel like I've recovered sufficiently from Rem 2. So, in the meantime, I've found a little rules discovery game called King of the Bridge, which if you'd like to give it a go, is currently like £2 on Steam or something. It's a solo developed game, and I think, if I saw correctly, it was literally like submitted as a student project that was kind of so well received, the guy decided to then like publish it on Steam and so on. And it's quite good. Like, it's a little rough around the edges. Like, you can tell it's kind of a solo developed game. It reminds me a lot of Daniel Mullins, for sure. But yeah, if you like a nice rule discovery game, it's the conceit of the game, the setting of the game, is that you are playing chess with a troll on the bridge, but it's roughly the rules of chess, but there's a whole bunch of hidden extra rules which you don't know, that you must discover by playing the game. And if you make an illegal move, then the computer can accuse you of cheating, and then you lose that game. But occasionally, the computer cheats. So you can't necessarily always reliably ascertain a rule based on what the computer does. But if you accuse the computer of cheating, and you're correct that they are indeed cheating, then you get to cheat in your next turn as payback, right? So, yeah, it's neat. It's neat. It's, you know, full transparency. I don't think it's going to set the world on fire or anything like that. But for a solo developed project, and I believe it was the chap's first ever game that they've published, you know, student project or whatever, it's pretty neat. And for a couple of quid, I'm having a pretty good time with it. So yeah, so that's going to be after Firmament. And so if you wanna pick that up for a couple of pounds before we play it on the channel, that's what we're going to play next. Or just check it out in a couple of weeks' time and see if it's something that you think sounds interesting. Schism, says Spiper. Oh, do you know what? We could do Schism. We could do Schism. Yeah, Everett says Schism. Schism is like the sci-fi one, right? It's the one that's like super duper late 90s, early 2000s kind of Matrix vibes, if I recall. Well, this door over here is not open. So removing the crab so that the tracker can't see them hasn't just opened the door on its own. Ah, Kadish. Why you do this to me? Starship Titanic? Yeah, I've had that as a recommendation. I've had that kick. Schism is Myst if Neil Breen made Myst. That is a reference that I do not understand. Allegedly, the reason you can edit an age by changing the book is to do with quantum physics, Schrodinger's cat type stuff, changing the things that aren't being observed. Huh. Changing the things that aren't being observed. Dark Faye's going to head off to work now. Goodbye, Dark Fae. Have a good day at work. Oh, we can get on top of this ridge. Not sure that does anything. Not sure that does anything. I'm going to have to look it up later. I don't actually know who Neil Breen is, to be honest. You're wondering if that's why the crabs matter. Oh, I do know Tommy Wiseau. Yes. Yes. This is a chap I've heard of. Was it Room or The Room that he made? One of them is a pretty good movie starring Brie Larson. The other one is the Tommy Wiseau movie. And you don't want to accidentally be going and seeing the wrong one. Yeah, it doesn't seem like that's doing anything for us. The Room is the bad one. Which one? Hey! Nah, the Brie Larson one's pretty good actually. Like I would give that a recommend for sure. Oh man. Let's not attribute all titles containing the word room to Tommy Wiseau. There's another one, I think, isn't there? Or I might just be thinking of the video game, The Room. Which is totally unrelated to both of the previous properties. Oh man. We're almost at the end of the stream. And I just don't feel like we've made any progress this evening at all. Nev Eagleson had given a relevant hint earlier. How you can sit in your car whilst you wait for it to warm up. Oh man, 5 degrees though. It's kind of tough. Oh, that's very kind of you to say, Blazing Fernie. The video game The Room is really good. Is it better than the movie though? I got rid of all the tracked things except one. Yeah, except me. Oh, wait. Do we have to link out and link back in? Link out and link back in? It can't track us when we're in the water, though. What happens here when no one's observing? But the crabs are still observing. The crabs didn't die. They're just in the water. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. If we were drowning rats, then I would understand. But like, they're crabs. They live in the water. Okay. Well, yeah, it's different. It's different. Okay. Oh man. Well. Big reveal. Big reveal. Big reveal. We broke the tree. For sure. We've now got more things that this is tracking. Again. But yeah. So that's interesting. If we go down here now, yeah, we're going to Relto out. So there's no water there anymore. So okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. We've got this line scoured in the ground as well. So yeah, oh, interesting, interesting. Okay, well, my friends, that is going to be all we have time for today's episode. Our destroyed tree has remained destroyed, so maybe we need to shatter these trees to get this going again. Oh dear, sorry, I'm going to have to sneeze. Oh dear, okay, I'm going to cut that from the edit. Right. So... Right, okay. So the descriptive book got changed at some point in the past, but do you know what though? Nah, that's inconsistent with the Book of Atris though, because age 37B definitely occurred whilst there were people living on age 37. So I don't know. I guess we'll discuss the lore implications of this further in the Discord and in the chat next week. However, for now, we're going to wrap up the stream for today. Thank you all very much for coming along. If you're watching on YouTube in the future, thank you very much for coming along to today's episode of URU Complete Chronicles Path of the Shell. Join us next time. We have finally got into the real part of Arnone. Looking forward to next week. I will see you then. Bye for now. Okay. For those of us who are here, thank you very much.